Something a little bit different to start the video. We are going to get to some fishing. I have been over to Holland and caught a couple of nice fish, and we're going to get into that. But to start with, I want to show you something that I've been up to in the meantime, and that is I've started a tackle shop with that man behind me there. Me and Jacob, we've been working on something Rippa Tackle for a little while now. We have been just online, but in the past couple of months, we bought a tackle shop, we've got it all kitted out, and we're nearly at the point where we're going to open. By the time this video goes out, we're going to be open, we're going to be operating normal times. I'll put in the description all the information about the location, when we're open, but I thought I'd show you just before we're ready to open exactly what it looks like. So at the minute we've got corda, we've got loads of Nash stuff obviously. We're going to be getting sticky, Fox as well, hopefully, deeper, and a few other brands. It's going to be fully kitted out. I think it's a very cool little tackle shop. We're in Crewe, we're on a high street. Today where we've been open, we've met loads of new people. It's been really, really cool. And it's a bit of a dream come true really to own your own tackle shop, because as an angler, who wouldn't want to own their own tackle shop? I know I've always wanted to own one. I've got people outside there now waving at me. But yeah, it's very, very cool, and I hope to see some of you guys up here. We do still operate online as well. If you do ever want any fishing tackle, please come online and visit us if you're not in the Crewe area. We price match with everyone else as well, so we'll do you the best deal that you can get on the fishing tackle. We're going to help as many people as well get their fishing tackle sorted. That's what we want to do at Rippa Tackle, and yeah, like I said, it's a dream come true, so I'm very proud right now whilst I'm talking to you guys. Right, no more waffling, let's head over to Holland where I had a pretty cool session. Difficult, but I managed to catch some lovely carp. Just another quick update on the tackle shop, as since the first recording we did have our open day. Sadly, the day before we planned to open, someone decided to brick our window. Jacob and I were both devastated, but instead of letting it get us down, we decided to get the window boarded up and go ahead with the open day as planned. We just wanted to say thank you to everyone who came down and made it such a successful day. We honestly couldn't have hoped for any more, especially considering how good we both were 24 hours before opening due to the vandalism to the window. The shop will be open normal hours from now on. You can see opening times in the description below, and we are putting money towards a roller shutter to avoid this happening in the future. We hope to see some of you guys down there in the future, and be sure to look out for the full shop open day vlog on Jacob's YouTube channel. Right, off to Holland. Now there's some places in carp fishing that just stick with you and you obsess over them, and all you can think about is returning to them, and the venue at today is one of those for me. It is a very special lake. Probably I'd best describe it as a park lake, but in the middle of nowhere, and the stock of carp are incredible. I fished here last year with Jacob, and whilst I caught one of the best commons I've ever caught in my entire life, it was a stunning mid-40, absolutely perfect fish. Jacob stole the show. He caught so many incredible carp, and I won't lie, I was very jealous of what he caught. And all I've wanted to do since then is come back to this place. I have come back once since and blanked, but this time I've come at the perfect time of year, and I really think we could be in for a good session. Got here late last night, pulled up, got the barrow unloaded, had to do 3 barrow trips with all my gear, all my food for the week session, the bow, everything. It's a long old way from the car park to the swim as well, so I was absolutely knackered by the time I got rods out. I dropped rods in positions and I did actually see some carp, and I felt like I had a good chance of catching one. However, first light this morning, I did actually sleep through first light. Sue me, the carp brigade. I know it's a cardinal sin, but I was so shattered by the time I got rods out last night at 2 AM. I knew I was just going to sleep through until my body naturally woke up, and I was actually woken up by a tufty diving down on me. The bird life here can be a massive problem, and I will discuss that in more detail. But for now, I'm woken up, I feel refreshed, recharged, ready to go, and I'm going to go for a little explore and see what's out there. But I cannot quite get across how special this place is and how excited I am to fish here. I've been thinking about this place pretty much the second we stopped fishing here last year. As soon as we pulled away from that car park, I said to Jacob, I'm coming back here and fishing, and I'm going to do a 4, 5, 6 day session. I'm going to catch some of the special carp that live here. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get out, sort the rods out, find some carp and catch them. And I honestly hope I can catch 2 or 3 of the incredible fish that live in this beautiful venue. It was time to go out for a proper explore in daylight. Whilst I had some ideas of where I wanted to focus my attention based off Jacob's success last year, I didn't want to let this completely dictate my decisions. It was a new year, a new spring, and the fish could be behaving completely differently compared to last year. So I had to go out and do my best to locate the carp's feeding areas without being influenced too much by any preconceived ideas that I may have. The water is really down this year compared to when Jacob was fishing to this. Like before,
the fish could really get into these snags, so maybe they just don't want to spend as much time in this area now that they can't quite go as far back. See all the crushed shells. The carp, I think they do like to spend time here, but just don't know why they're not there now. Maybe when the sun comes out.
Surprisingly, there was little fish presence around the island and snaggy margin where Jacob had caught so many fish last year. However, as I approached the beach, it became clear as to why I couldn't find any carp at the other end of the lake. The whole stock was located along the sandy drop-off in front of the beach.
There's something over there. That's a carp. There's carp here. Oh my god, there's carp, there's carp, there's carp. There's carp, there's carp, there's carp. There's big carp. Oh my god. Oh my god.
As quietly as I dared, I dropped the rod close to the fish, followed by a small helping of bait before heading back to the shore with the motor on the lowest setting as possible to reduce the amount of motor noise that may spook the carp.
Don't want to put much in. Jenny, I think that could be enough. Half of the scoop more. Oh my god, I can't believe it. There's like 4 carp there, big ones as well.
However, on my way back to the shore, I found another large group of carp. Had I made a mistake dropping the rod long and cutting through this shoal of fish?
Oh, there's loads of carp here as well. Oh my god, there's one. You see him? That is a massive common. Jesus. Oh my god. I may have made a mistake there because I found a group of fish quite long along the beach, and I found another group even shorter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it just because I got it in so nicely, and the 2-3 fish I dropped around were mega ones. But now I'm going to walk round, bait where I saw the others, and if this one goes, then what I'll do is I'll probably move it a bit closer in. The only risk I've got here is I've got line going through where the fish potentially could be. Thankfully, there's a bit of a deeper drop off, so it's not cutting through like 4 foot of water. But it's not ideal. I'm hoping, because the fish don't see too much line pressure, that it won't bother them too much.
On my walk over to the beach to watch the carp I'd seen, I came across a big dead common. With the stock already being so low in this lake, losing any of these precious fish was never nice to see.
Oh, this is a shame. One washed up, look, full of eggs as well. So, decent sized. Probably mid-30 female. Oh, that's a shame, but they're all out there. There's so many carp out there. I'm gonna put a little bit of bait in.
After watching the water for 20 minutes, I realised there were 2 main shoals along the beach, and I only had a rod on the further group of fish. I decided to drop another rod at an angle on the nearest shoal too. It could be overkill, and I may live to regret it, but there's about 40 carp on the beach, pretty much the entire lake stock, and I couldn't not double up my rods with that concentration of carp. With 2 rods on the beach, I prepped my 3rd rod with a targeted approach to try and keep the bird life at bay, as this was the rod that the tufty had already picked up. I placed my 3rd rod along the island, as well as baiting the spot that Jacob did so well from last year on the far snaggy margin. The rain began to pour at this point, so I sought shelter underneath the hide, expecting a bite at any moment. Well, those rods have been out for a couple of hours now, and I can't believe it, they've not gone. Birds are picking me up, not just on the rods on the beach, but also the rods to the island. And whilst I know it's not ideal, I'm going to leave them because they're going to be picking them up no matter what. Those rigs that I've used, they are designed to reset, and providing that the birds aren't pulling the hook baits off, which I don't think they are because I'm getting multiple pickups, and I'm always quite confident with the bait screws and the way I floss them that the birds won't pull them off. So I'm going to leave them until dark. Then on dark, I'm going to go out with the head torch and redo all the rods, because at that point the birds won't see what I'm doing. I can get everything perfect, and I'm hoping then that I'll get a first light bite. I do think that the beach, now that I've not had one straight away, which I thought I should have done, I think it could be a first light jobby. And I'm hoping maybe I can nick one on sunset. But yeah, I'm gutted. I'm really gutted. I think I messed up, and I think when I went over and did that 2nd rod, I think perhaps I spooked them, which is a shame. This happened last year. I fished the beach last year and found a couple of fish, put rods out, and they went straight away. So it might be a case of when I redo the rods, I just put one there. Don't overdo it, just put 1 rod there at night, put the other rod back on the margin where Jacob caught them fish, and go from there. But I think a lot of people think that European fishing is really easy. You go, you find carp, you put a couple of rigs in front of them and a bit of bait, and you 50 pounders call up the line. Sometimes you can find places like that, but more often than not, it's harder than that. But this place especially, it's really tricky. It's not easy. It's not an easy venue at all. I know a lot of Dutch fish here regularly and struggle. Obviously, I blanked last time I was here. Like, it's not an easy water, but the fish are worth their weight. So I'm going to stick it out. I think there's a bit of a rainstorm coming in as well. I can see it in the clouds. I'm going to stick it out until tonight, probably about 11 o'clock. I'll go out and redo everything and just hope that we get one at the first light. But I thought we'd have had one by now, I won't lie. Bit good. The rain came down as predicted, so I felt like the best approach was to get in the safety of the hide, chill out and enjoy a mug or two of wine. Sadly, I didn't get the bite on dusk, so I went out to redrop all the rods shortly before midnight, hoping that I would get a chance at first light. Sadly, the sun rose the following morning with no bites to report. It'd been a wet night, with rain still falling intermittently. The fish were definitely still on the beach, I could see them showing there. And with the coot less aware of my baited rigs as I dropped the rods in the dark, all I could do was sit on my hands and pray that I would get a bite.
We got something on here, but I'm not entirely sure. It's a carp, I don't think it is. I think it might be a tench. Yes, a little tinker. Well, not even a little tinker, that is quite a big tench. That's a massive tench. That is a good £8 that, I reckon. That's a big tench. Right, see you later, mate. Oh, shot off.
With the tench coming from the beach, I actually decided against redropping it in the same position. I had been fishing 2 rods on the beach, and I was starting to feel like it may have been overkill. As I was the only angler on the lake, I decided to drop the rod long to the far corner where I'd caught my common from last year. There was a nice carp hole down there, and it felt like, as the fish weren't directly in front of me or willing to feed on the beach, perhaps this quiet corner would do a bite. The rain persisted throughout the day again, and it passed by with little to report. It appeared as though there was a hatch on the lake as the swallows turned up in numbers, and I was tempted to put zigs out, but I wanted to give it a little longer fishing over bait. Darkness soon set in, and I turned in for the night, anxious at the thought as to why the fishing had been so slow. A thick fog descended on the lake that morning, following a night of silent sirens.
Another night, another blank. This place is tricky, really tricky. It reminds me of like an English syndicate with some real low stock of carp. I spoke to someone yesterday, old boy was walking around, he says he thinks there's 20 carp in here. I think there's more, but I don't think there's more than like 40 carp in here, so it is very low stock. And the fish, they're tricky, they're really, really tricky. Like most places in Europe, if you rock up and you find carp somewhere and you put rods on them, you're going to catch them. The bird life are a pain, but not just that, the fish are they just don't want to give themselves up easily. The weather has been terrible, and when I fished here after me and Jacob had that session, when I came by myself and blanked for like 2 nights, I came and did a quick 2 nights. It was raining loads then, and the fish, they just weren't playing ball, and I'm hoping that whilst it's still quite gloomy now, it's supposed to clear up over the next couple of days and get quite sunny, and that's when I'm hoping they're going to get into those margin spots and on the beach like they did when I first got here. I think the problem was, when I first got here and the weather was decent and the fish were in those areas where I've got rods now, I spooked them out perhaps, and they've not returned because the weather's deteriorated since then. So all the rods are in position now, they're all perfect, and I think that in the next sort of 3-4 hours when that weather warms up, the sun comes out, the fish get back into those margin spots and on the beach, I've got traps primed and waiting. That's my hope. I've got other backup spots as well baited that I can fall back onto, but yeah. I know that it's a long session, I've still got quite a bit of time left, but it's already, I'm starting to think, right, we're starting to run out of time. The fish are about, I've seen a few show down this end this morning, I know that there'll be a few up there. I'm getting a weird occurrence on my rod to the far margin. Every now and then I'll just get a big drop back or a couple of beeps, and I think it's fish swimming through the line, knocking it, and either dragging the lead down the shelf, which is why I'm getting the drop back, or
or I'm just getting a couple of beats from it. And I mean, I've even hit it a few times and nothing on the end. And when I went out there this morning to re-drop the rod, I did see a few tigers still left on the spot, so they definitely weren't there in numbers, but I did see one show over there, not quite on the margin in the open water a little bit, but in that area. So I'm trying to remain optimistic, but it's not going to be easy, this place. But literally just catching one of these carp will be special. They're such nice fish, and if I come away from this week trip catching one special one, I'll consider that a success. So yeah, everything's fishing now. Just waiting for that weather to improve. I'm waiting for those sonar fours to make a bit more of a reassuring sound than the odd bleep that they're making here and there at the minute. But all we can do now is sit back and hope that the sun comes out.
I don't know what it is down here that I keep getting caught on, but it's doing my head in. I don't want to play them too hard in case I can feel it grating. Has it come off? We've definitely got a carp on here. Oh my god. It's definitely grating on something. Yeah, carp, I can see him. Why is this caught on then? Please don't do this. Oh, this is horrible. I don't even think it's a big carp, you know.
The fish was entangled in another angler's discarded line, making playing it an absolute nightmare. I feared I wouldn't get the carp in the net.
Yes. Oh. Oh, in the net. Jesus. Fish in the net. Thank God. Oh my God, he's not a big one. Is this lead? A little bit of line wrapped round does make it feel so weird, but we've landed one. It's not massive. Mid-20, but oh, thank God for that. I'd have been stressed if we lost him. Oh, yes.
With the fish in the net, I returned to the bank where a friendly local dog walker was interested in seeing what I'd caught. No, this is just a small one.
Yeah, come on.
But this is maybe 8 kilos.
Wow.
But in here, they go to 25 kilos.
Serious?
Yeah. This is honestly a small one.
Okay.
I've seen, when I've gone out, I've seen some really big ones. And I was here last year with my friend.
Yeah.
And I caught a 20 kilo one. This is a really big fish, yeah. But
you gonna throw it back?
yeah, I just make a quick video, and
course.
then I put him back. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah.
And what's it called in English?
Carp. So it's like a carper, yeah.
Carper.
I come all the way from England to fish here.
No, serious?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Not a massive one at all, but glad to have finally caught one after a few days. On that long spot, someone's shown up and I think they're going to fish there, so I might have to reel that rod in again. Right now, I'm just happy to have caught one. I'm going to slip him back, and I'm hoping that the spots that I pre-baited, if I have to move that rod, produce fish as well. Yeah, happy days. Fish, like I said, this isn't a big one, but every single one from here is a special one because of how few live here and how hard they are to catch. But right now, yeah, buzzing to caught one. Can only go up from here. Well, we could catch no more, but if we catch another one, I'm sure it's gonna be bigger. So it's a nice start, but let's get a bigger one.
You mind?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll go for it.
Well, sadly, someone has decided to come and show up. Him and his mate's coming a little bit later, and he's coming right behind me. Yeah, along the same bank. So you can probably see him in the background there. A little bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, I'm towing my rods quite far, so it's sort of the risk I have to take. My only worry is, obviously, I've just caught that fish from that spot, and will they show up on that beach? What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it one night down here, because obviously been baiting those spots. So I'm going to give it one night down here. If by tomorrow I've not caught anything and they've not caught anything, more importantly, then I think I'm going to go over to the other side and fish across. I just think that when I checked one of the spots this morning by the fallen tree, there was no bait left, and the sun hasn't quite come out as I predicted. And although I've had that bite down there, I still think there's a chance down here, because I did see a couple of fish show here this morning. So I'm not going to panic just yet and move. I'm going to do one more night here. At the end of the day, I've got quite a long session, so I don't need to rush anything. I'm going to do one more night down here, and if things don't pay off, then I will go for a move and fish from the opposite bank. But yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. I did say to him, I am fishing with my rods quite spread out. If you go down the opposite end, we won't be bothering each other. And he said, yeah, okay, no problem. And then he came back and yeah, I said, no, actually I'm going to fish next to you. Great, but it's part of it, isn't it? Right, he's got a couple of hours, he said, till he's ready, so I don't need to reel in just yet. Hopefully I can nick one more, but then if not, yeah, we'll bring the rods in and drop them on the well, not new spots, the pre-baited spots, which is a nice thing. We're fishing over bait, so it's not, like I said, it's not the end of the world. Not ideal, but not the end of the world. Whilst it was frustrating that two anglers had decided to show up and fish right next to me, I couldn't grumble too much, as I was taking up a lot of the lake. I was fishing on pre-baited spots too, so at least I had that benefit. As the evening period came, I felt confident that I may be in for a chance, especially with the New England neighbours creating plenty of disturbance in their half of the lake with their bait boat. Perhaps the noise would push the fish down towards me. That was what I told myself as I went to sleep anyway. I'm really starting to pull my hair out a little bit. I do love this place, but it's not giving itself up easy. I just want one of the good ones so badly. Just one of those good fish. Completely make the trip. We're starting to get to crunch time. What we got? Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. We've got 3 nights left. And I don't feel any closer to catching. Well, I feel further away to catching them when I first got here. The guys who came and messed my fish up a little bit, yes, I won't lie. But the guys who came and fished to my left, they've not caught anything. Unsurprisingly, really. They were just driving their bait boats around for hours and hours and hours, and I just thought that it would definitely spook me out this area. So I kind of got a decision to make. Do I stay here and then they do leave tomorrow and then I can start putting my rods long again towards the beach area, or do I move today and start fishing that beach area and the area where I had the fish from? I think right now I'm more inclined to move, but I'm going to go for a little explore in the boat, see what I see, because there's every chance the fish are still down here. I did get up really early this morning and was watching the water, but it was so foggy I couldn't see much, but I didn't see anything show down here. But yesterday I did, so I kind of want to see fish before I make too much of a decision. The sun is finally coming out, so yeah, I'm going to go out in the boat, have an explore, and I'll make a decision based off that. All my tigers are on the spot still. None of that bait's gone. This was such a banker last year when Jacob fished it. They were all living here. And they were here when I got here. I've seen 1 carp since then, and I'm not eating the bait. I don't understand. With a distinct lack of fish activity in my half of the lake, I decided to go for a move. It may only be for a night, but I just felt too penned in by the anglers to my left, and I wanted to be able to fish the spot where I'd already caught from. I loaded the gear onto the boat and headed over to my new swim. My plan was to fish 2 rods over to the beach, as the line lay would be far improved from my new swim where I could fish directly opposite, whilst my 3rd rod would be fished around the corner onto the spot that had done my only carp bite so far. I decided to fish the rods on the beach with 2 different methods. One would be my usual light tiger nut mix trap, whilst the others would be over a spread of boilies. I felt like the lake was already bait boat dominated, judging from the angles I'd already seen, so maybe a spread baiting approach would be better off for these wary fish. I would fish the same tactics as I used on the spot that had already done the bite, fishing a small trap of tigers and tiger nut slush. I had to fish the rod out in the water to get the perfect line lay, which meant if I did get a bite in the night, I would definitely be running out the bivvy in my pants into the cold spring water to get to the rod. If that did happen, I certainly wouldn't be complaining about getting wet, as I was so desperate for a fish. By the time I got everything sorted, it was well into the evening period. I chilled out after the long move and went to bed feeling confident, as you so often do after a big move. The park was alive the following morning, as it was a Saturday. Whilst my rods remained silent, the rest of my surroundings were less peaceful. Dogs and dog walkers, swimmers, people just enjoying the beautiful nature. It was full on. There was even a bloke who had come down to my old swim with his RC speedboat, who was certainly annoying my old neighbours with how much disturbance he was creating.
Proper park lake vibes today. In my old swim there's some bloke with the fastest remote control car I've ever seen. Imagine that as your bait boat. He's absolutely tanking it. Look how fast that is. And these guys, my mates, they put a bait boat long over there yesterday after I left. So I don't think he's best pleased. Karma, eh? To be fair, they are leaving now. I think there's a chance I'm going to go over there, but I'll wait till Matey's had a little run around with the bait boat. I'll go out with the boat myself, have a look. Hopefully he's spooking all this way, because that is very loud, I can hear it from here. I was so desperate for this to be ripping off. Me charging out my bivvy into the water. Sadly, looks like that dream didn't come true.
The sun was finally out in full force, and I felt like the margin that Jacob caught from last year would now be the optimum spot on the lake. I decided to pack up and head back to my original spot.
Right, boat loaded, just bring the rods in. We'll head back over to base camp number 1. 2 days left, 2 nights left, let's make it happen.
I boated over to the opposite side, determined that I was going to make it happen, even with tide running away from me.
There you go, bank sticks can go in the old holes. We're home.
I knew where I wanted to put my rod, so I wasted no time in getting rigs sorted. My main focus was going to be Jacob's snaggy margin, so that was the rod that went out first. I decided to go for a different approach and moved away from the tiger-dominated baiting approach I'd gone for, as I wanted to try and put the bird life off and instead go for a boiling particle approach. I would tip my hook bait with a piece of plastic corn and mount the floss into it to really try and secure the hook bait in place to avoid the birds pulling it off when they picked up the rig.
Yeah, he's a big one. Really nice big carp. They're here. Oh, there's another one. Another one just there. I'm going to try and spook him out with a little bit of bait. Oh, there's loads. There's loads of carp. Oh my god. Right, I feel like this is the chance. This is our opportunity here. Yeah, nice drop. Can see it, it's all looking good. All looking really good. Oh yeah, the carp's back down already. Oh god, oh god, oh god. I need to get out of here quick. There were some nice fish there, some smaller ones down there, but then 2 big ones here, one really big common. I think it was at least 20 kilo, at least mid 40. Oh my god, please God.
I felt so confident this rod would do me a bite, almost to the point where I didn't see the need to put the other 2 rods out. However, with how slow action had been, I knew it would be stupid not to fish all 3 rods. One rod went out on the island despite the swimmers using it as their roundabout for laps around the lake, whilst the other rod went out on the beach, which was proven to be a bit of a red herring. It wasn't long until all the rods were fishing I could sit back in anticipation of the bite that I thought I so thoroughly deserved at this point. The snaggy margin rod was definitely going to be the one that went if I did get a bite, I couldn't help but feel myself staring longingly at it as the sun began to set, almost begging it to burst into life.
Oh, I've been waiting for that sound for a very long time. Oh, thank God. I just cannot believe that that's been out there for not far off 24 hours now. With all the fish there, fishing absolutely perfectly because it's obviously done a bite. Just randomly gone this morning. God, so much energy. Just when I think he's done, he just does a massive kick again. Like that. Come on, mate. Look at this. Boom. Always a bit bigger than I thought. Yes. Get in there. Yeah, okay, he's a bit bigger than I thought. Oh my God. Look at him. It's been a long time coming, that one. Look at the big old fins on him. Yes, thank God. Get in there. We've waited far too long for that. Far, far too long. But we finally got one.
This has been such a long time coming, and to be honest, I almost feel like I shouldn't put this film out because of how much a struggle it's been, but I think sometimes carp fishing films nowadays, they're so full of people smashing it up, and it's not always the case. Sometimes you've got to struggle, you've got to really work hard for the bites, like we've done here. So I think I've got to put this film out. Not least as well because we have caught a nice one. Look how long this fish is. Oh, look at him. I mean, if he had a belly, it'd probably be a 50-pounder, but what an epic carp that is nonetheless. Upper 30, something like that. Long, lean, fighting Dutch machine. Been such a long time coming, like I said. Had to work really hard, multiple moves, little tweaks to the actual tactical approach, which is something that is probably not my greatest strength in fishing. My greatest strength is grafting, working hard, staying on the move, which we've had to do this session. Those little technical tweaks, yeah, they're definitely not my strong suit, but we've had to do it this time and it's paid off. And with one night left to go, we've put it pretty close to the wire, but we've got one. So happy with that fish. Thank you, mate. You have no idea how much you mean to me. I love this place so much. I'm not sure it feels the same about me because it makes me work so hard for the fish, but right now I'm just cherishing this moment. Oh, thank you, mate. Oh. I admired the carp one last time before slipping her back and re-dropping the rod. Back in my bivvy, I looked back at the pictures to admire my prize. As I was doing so, the same rod was away again.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. We're in. I was not expecting that. Oh, it's crazy how quickly a session can turn. 2 bites between 8 and midday today, and that's after having one fish in about 5 days, I think. Oh, he's got a bit of a belly, this one, so hopefully he's got a bit more size to him. Oh God, do not do that. In fact, flick off the dorsal. I hate it when fish are brave and that happens. There we go, come here. Get in that net, get in that net, come on. Yes! Get in there, wallop. Oh, let's have a look at him. Unlike the other one, it's got a massive gut to it, but not much length, but probably similar size, completely different shape. I mean, if it was the same length as the other one, it would be £50. Look at the shoulders on it. Yes, get in there. Come on.
Yeah, from here, yeah.
And which kind is it?
This is a carp, yeah. A common carp, yeah. This one's maybe 16 kilos, 17 kilos.
Really? And it's about half more, 60 centimeters?
Yeah, maybe 70, 80. I caught one this morning that was about a metre.
Did you expect this kind of fish?
Yeah. So this is one of my favourite places in the world to come carp
In the
fishing.
world?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
I love it here. The scenery, the fish in here, they're hard to catch, but they're beautiful. They're really, really beautiful.
And is it the first time you catched a big one like this?
No, so
No.
I came last year with my friend, and I caught one that was 20 kilos. And my friend came here and he caught 8 or 9 up to maybe 18, 19 kilos. But I said to him, right, I'm coming back next year, and I'm fishing here because I want to catch some more. So.
Ooh. Okay.
I
Take a picture.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
It's okay, because you're not in the shot, so it's fine. You can take the photo.
Wacht even.
Oh, right, we've got a bit of an audience here, but check him out.
Ik kan niet eens zien waar mijn camera is. Wacht even.
Really nice one.
Yes.
Just under £40. Got some
that's
walkers
nice.
taking photos
A
here.
lucky day for you.
Yeah, lucky day. I had one this morning and another one now.
You
Old
arrived
one.
This morning?
No, a while ago, a few days ago I came here.
Oh, and then you are.
Yeah, but I caught one small one for the first day, and then now these 2 today. And I go home tomorrow, so I'm well happy.
Where do you live?
London.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, in London.
The big London.
Yeah, exactly. A bit different to here.
The place to be.
Yeah.
This is another place to be.
Oh, I love it here. I think it's the nature,
Did you
the fishing.
discover this by accident? Or
No, a friend of mine told me about it.
A Dutch friend?
Yes, years ago. Let me put him back.
Ja.
And how long
Right.
can the fish?
10 minutes, something like this.
10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah. Right, I'm going to put him back now. Yeah, sick one. Cheers, thank you.
Have a good day, hè?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Park life, eh? Not the most polished piece to camera ever, but with an inquisitive crowd of a couple of old dears, you can't help but answer their questions. I was so happy to have caught not one, but 2 special commons from this notoriously tricky park lake. I still had the remainder of the day and the night left, and I carried on fishing hard. I even experimented with zigs along the beach and island to see if I could intercept any cruising fish, but it sadly never produced a bite. I chilled out that evening with a beer or 2 that had been kindly given to me by one of the dog walkers who I've been chatting to most days as he walked around the lake. I sat back to take in the beautiful surroundings. It hadn't exactly been a smash-up session that I'd hoped for, but it didn't matter. I loved this place so much, and the carp I did catch were made all the more special for how hard I had to work for them. Come morning, I hadn't received another take, and it seemed like the fish had spooked away from the area again. It just goes to show how difficult they can be. I spoke to a guy as I was leaving to go back to England who said it hadn't done a bite to his knowledge since November, so landing 3 was good going. I didn't want to get caught up on the numbers this time though. Sometimes my carp fishing is about chasing targets and weights, but not at this place. This was my carp fishing oasis. A place where I could absorb myself in the surroundings and pit my wits against these difficult carp. More often than not, they'd end up on top, but every now and then I would trip one of them up. I drove back to the UK satisfied with the session, already planning my return trip to this very special venue.